We about to do it, y'all. We about to do it. Come on, baby, tell them we about to do it. We about to do it, y'all. We about to do it. We about to do it, y'all. We about to. We not gonna put that. 3 days.
3 days I've been waiting for this for. 3 days I've been waiting.
3?
3.
So the sun is like Willie Demon. We are on our way to the Asian food market. I think I'm gonna run to Walmart first. I tried to look at Publix, and at Publix they told me that the beef bones won't be in until like Friday. Today is Thursday. I went yesterday, and the experimentation, I don't even think it's going to be an experiment. I think it's going to come out excellent. Do you guys ever pray over your food before you even make it? I think a lot of times that's what I do. I'll just pray about a recipe that I want to make, and then the Lord just blesses it. So I'm getting ready to make pho. I mentioned it the other day. It's 8:40 a.m. and you have to let the beef bones basically simmer and steep for like 24 hours. And I'm so mad because yesterday I went to the Asian market and I found some beef bones, the femur, but the only thing about that is they were frozen. And so I don't want to just, and you got to roast them before you start boiling them. And I really want this to come out excellent. I'll never forget Austin, Texas. But I was fasting, and one of my girlfriends was like, hey, you should go to, I was telling her I wanted some soup really bad. And so she told me to go to this pho restaurant. It's called Basil something. I gotta look up the name and then get it. But she told me to go there. And I remember when I got that first taste of that broth, it was incredible. And I just remember being like, you got to be kidding me. I'm super excited. But I didn't realize what a process it was. So I'm glad that, I mean, my kids and my husband was excited. Then last night I was watching another video. I was like, babe, that's just too much. It's too many steps. I don't think it's a lot of steps. It's just the process of letting the broth simmer, the beef broth. I'm gonna do beef. The beef broth simmer for 24 hours. I didn't realize that it was a whole day, 2-day situation when it came to making the pho. But I'm excited. I think it's gonna come out amazing. So I'm just super excited about trying this and being able to have the broth that I have been wanting for the past 5 years. Because I've gone to other restaurants too and nobody's tastes like that. But I think that this one is gonna be amazing. Okay, there's my Asian supermarket and I found everything that I needed. My sugar rocks were a little bit more bigger than I wanted though.
So these are just a few of the items that I had to pick up today from the Asian food market. You guys, make sure you check the description box down below if you want to go on this recipe journey with me of making pho.
That costs way too much money to be beef broth, okay? So our kitchen is still incomplete, but that's okay. We got our femurs, beef femur. This is what I bought yesterday. It was frozen. It's totally unfrozen now. And we are getting ready to roast this. So we're gonna turn our oven on, and my oven goes up to 500 degrees, and it says to, when you get ready to roast your bones first, because if you like the color of the broth situation, then you want to go ahead and roast them. So let's turn our ovens to 500 degrees. All right, 500, convection bake.
So I ended up going with the high collagen beef bones, the femur. This is what I was able to find. When I went to the Asian food market, I was able to get them to cut them fresh for me, and I think that's why they were a little bit more expensive. The ones that I found prior that were frozen the day before, they were a lot smaller, but I was able to unthaw them. But you want to get high collagen beef bones, you guys, and then we're going to roast them first. We're going to roast them for 30 minutes for regular bake, 20 minutes for convection bake.
Like I got 15 minutes left with cooking this stuff in the, what do you call it, in the oven, and she sounds like she's screaming. I'm about to let you try to hear. See? browns nicely. Okay, so I honestly think that 20 minutes is good because I have convection bake oven. I think sometimes that's the thing, like when you have convection bake versus just regular bake oven, then you don't have to cook it as long. So I'm gonna pull my femur bones out of the oven.
So I hear that most times when people make pho, that they just throw everything in a pot and boil them. I watched this guy, his name is Jason Farmer, and another guy named Lathan. It's funny because Jason Farmer watched Lathan, who's from Australia, and I watched him first, and then it led me to Jason Farmer, which led to me roasting my beef bones first, which gives, they say, so much more flavor. And I'm a witness, you guys. My broth was so full of flavor, and I froze it, and I ended up giving it some, like saving some for my mother. Like a month later, she had it, and she absolutely loved it. She's like, babe, you got to get that recipe out. I need to know how to make it. Now, after we roast our bones, this is when we actually rinse them. And I was showing you guys to make sure that you leave the marrow within the middle of that bone as you rinse them. Don't try to get all that gunk out. Leave that there because that's going to enhance the flavor for your pho. Now, once your bones are nice and rinsed well, you want to use filter water or you can use reverse osmosis water. This is what we hear that they use in restaurants. They say that this is the best water to use when you make your pho. So I used my filter water. I got ready to rinse my bones. I saw that the water was still kind of gunky. So I poured it out, rinsed them again, washed the pot again, and then I went on ahead and I added filter water. I did not find reverse osmosis water. I didn't look for it. In my mind, I was like, I just have filter water at home, so this is what I'm going to use, and it worked just fine. So here you see me rinsing everything. I'm cleaning my pot out again. I'm just trying to get my water as clear as possible as we get ready to simmer our bones for 24 wonderful hours. So as you can see, I got everything really, really clean. So as you go forth, guys, and you get ready to add your bones back into the pot, the goal is to have at least 2 cups of water, filtered water or reverse osmosis water per bone, okay? So count my bones and see how much water I added. I don't remember. And then from there, you want to add 30% more water because as we cook for 24 hours, what's going to happen is the water is going to evaporate. So we want to make sure that we have enough water with our bones. We're going to put our top on and leave it tilted like this.
Okay. And so we have all this fat at the top, which is good. I'm going to use that tomorrow. And my stock broth is looking really good. So we're just simmering her barely, and I wish I could turn her down a little bit more because the directions say that these little bubbles, we don't even want that, but it's looking good.
If you find that your water is evaporating, go ahead and add more, okay? Don't let her evaporate. So this is our next day, 24 hours later, and we are straining our bone broth. Now, once we strain her, I'm going to get all my bones out of the broth, and I'm going to continue to strain in increments. But once we get all of our bone broth strained, we want to make sure we put the bowl that we have put the broth in on top of ice. We want to retain the flavor. So what happens is if you cool it quickly, rapidly, then you retain that good flavor that you have just developed through simmering the bone.
Into this bowl. Okay, so I pull it out.
So I just go ahead and I add my ice to a container that's bigger than my bowl, and then I put my bowl on top of the ice so we can cool rapidly. Once she's finished cooling for about 20 minutes or so, we are going to, well, I do this. I add saran wrap to the top of my bowl of my beef base, and then I'm going to add the top to my bowl. This bowl is just, it's humongous, and the top sometimes doesn't fit correctly, so I just wanted to make sure that my beef base stayed covered. Then I'm going to add her to the refrigerator, and you guys, we're going to refrigerate her overnight. This is what rolls us over into day 3.
It is 1,000% early this morning, and we are on day 1,500 of making our pho. No, I'm just kidding. We're supposed to get a layer of beef talon, I believe it's called. Like, so it's beef fat. It's gonna be like butter, so that we can infuse our spices so that we can get going. My beef broth looks amazing, and I'm excited about getting the rest of these steps done. So right now I'm getting ready to roast my onions, my shallots, my garlic, my ginger, and my chuck. I'm just gonna roast this guy real quick. Well, of course we're gonna keep cooking it as we boil it in the broth, but this is what we're about to do right now. So let's go.
You guys, make sure you check the description box down below for all ingredients that you're going to need. So here I'm just salting all sides of my beef chuck. Now we have what we call our aromatics, and I have my garlic, I have ginger, I have onion, I have my shallots, and then my beef chuck. We're going to roast them. You can roast them for about 15 to 20 minutes at your highest setting if you would like. I think I roasted mine at about 450 degrees, 15 to 20 minutes, guys. Now after 20 minutes, the chuck is not going to be complete as far as cooked all the way through. We're going to end up searing her, and then we'll end up putting her inside the beef broth so that she will finish cooking and she'll be nice and tender. At this point, we take our beef broth out of the refrigerator and we're going to slice into our beef talon, our beef fat. It's like butter, baby. So this is my first time ever making beef broth with bones and getting beef fat, our talon, our butter, and I was shocked at how much I got and how thick it was. And honestly, guys, when you just do the bones, the beef bones, it stinks. So to me, this stunk. But that's the beautiful part of the next part, the second half of what we're getting ready to do with our beef fat and our broth. So stay tuned and continue with me.
Broth like this. It's like it's almost frozen. Okay, what's happening, broth? That's it. Okay, broth. What is happening? Why does my broth seem like it's a bunch of fat? Look at it. Jiggle, 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 jiggle. Why is my broth like this right now? Okay, so I looked it up and I'm like, why is my pho broth in jelly condition? Whew. It says that this is totally normal and this is quality cooking. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, I was like, hold up, wait a minute, why is it looking like this? What's happening? So you guys, this means that it's quality, good condition. Okay, so we're gonna go from here. This makes me happy because I'm like, what happened? So all right. Whew. Thank you, Jesus.
So after my scare, I was so glad to go ahead and put all of my, I think I came up with about 16 cups altogether of broth. As soon as I put her in the pan, I put her over that flame and she was able to warm up and she turned right back into my liquidy, wonderful pho broth.
Okay, I'm simmering my gelatin on low so that she comes back to the broth.
So we'll get ready and we will remove our aromatics and our chuck from the oven and set them to the side.
We're gonna add our beef butter. Use it to infuse our spices. We're gonna use quite a bit. It's really like butter, y'all. Do y'all see this? I'm gonna turn my heat down just a little bit. Definitely gonna help infuse these flavors. So I'm gonna add cardamom pods. And then I'm going to use star anise. I think I have 10 of them. I have 3 cinnamon sticks. And I'm gonna give this infused for about 30 seconds or so. Smells amazing. I'm gonna actually add one more pod and 3 more star anise. And then I'm gonna add about 15 cloves. We're gonna cook it for about 20 more seconds. And then we're gonna add our broth to this. And then we're gonna add more ingredients in a second.
This is another way that you guys can roast your aromatics, your onion, your garlic, your ginger, and your shallots. You can just put them on top of the eye and roast them this way. This is another option. You don't have to do this, but this is just showing you another option.
I completely forgot to kind of sear my chuck, so I'm gonna do that now.
Once we get our beef butter nice and hot, we're going to sear our chuck for about 4 minutes on each side. Once she is done searing on the 2 sides only, you guys, on the 2 sides, then we're going to add her to our broth along with our spices. And then we'll also add our aromatics to our broth.
So we're going to add our aromatics. See, we got our broth going. Ginger, garlic. We'll strain it at the end anyway. And we're going to add our shallots. And we'll also add our meat. Okay. It tastes so good, but it stinks to me. It really does. So we're gonna let this cook for about 3 hours, guys. Okay, and also we're going to add salt. So we're gonna add about 2 tablespoons of salt. Forget how many grams that is. But you want it to be just almost too salty, but it's gonna continue to cook. And then I'm gonna add 4 cups, 3 tablespoons of rock sugar. And we're gonna kind of stir that until it dissolves, and then we're gonna taste it, okay? Okay, so this is my beef seasoning that I'm gonna use. I know that there's another ingredient called Cardamom. It's like a soup stock seasoning. It's kind of grainy. So I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of this guy. This is the one that I'm using. I got it from a Korean food market. They also have it at the Asian food store. This is where I found it.
So this is essentially just seasoning, adding another layer of flavor into our broth. We're gonna add one more ingredient at the tail end, which is the fish sauce. So after we steep and simmer our broth for 3 hours, you guys, we're gonna add the fish sauce at the tail end. We add it at the end because we don't want it to be sour and then change the flavor of the broth, but it adds and it enhances more flavor, but we have to do it at the tail end. So don't forget your fish sauce. I'll show you at the end. So now we are at the end, guys, after 3 hours, and our chuck is nice and tender perfectly after 3 hours. We're going to remove our chuck, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to strain everything out of our broth. If you guys can tell, the color of my broth has changed, which is a beautiful thing. I know that some people, they really care about broth color, clarity, and then the flavor. And I believe I kind of accomplished all of it. I hope I did anyway. This is my first time making pho, and it came out wonderful. So everything is strained, and we're going to put her back on the stovetop, and then this is when we'll add our fish sauce, guys.
Okay, so at this point we're going to add our fish sauce. Bless you. A tablespoon plus a teaspoon. Ugh, fish sauce stinks. I'm gonna taste it.
This is the flavor I have been waiting for the past 5 years. It is perfection, y'all. This is exactly what I wanted. Make sure you guys get sprouts. Green onions are a must. Cilantro, some Thai basil or red onion, and some lime so that you have something else besides noodles and beef for your wonderful broth, y'all. Let's go. I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. So we're going to use cold filtered water to soak our noodles. They have all kinds of Vietnamese noodles in the Asian food market. I don't know if you guys have an Asian food market near you. Maybe you could try different stores, but I actually went to the Asian food market and got all my noodles from there. I soak them in cold filtered water. Now, once they're soaked, when we get ready to eat, you guys, we're going to pour the broth on top of them, and they are going to be in perfect condition because they were soaked first. The broth will be hot, and they will get nice and soft and perfect for our pho soup. Okay? What I'm saying is that there's no need to boil the noodles whatsoever if you guys do this step first. So as I cut the rest of my ingredients for my pho, as I showed you guys before, I'm also going to cut some flank, some beef flank, you guys. I feel like I'm always able to find flank, usually at Sam's Club. With flank, you want to cut it nice and thinly. If you can find it prior to, that's already pre-sliced, you can do that also, but I had to cut mine. In the middle.
Oh yeah.
3 days.
3 days I've been waiting for this pho. 3 days I've been waiting. 3?
Took some time to get it going, but we don't have any, what do they call, chopsticks. We used them when our family was here because we had s'mores, and because we had s'mores, we didn't have sticks originally, so we used my chopsticks.
Why is there raw meat in the middle of my table? I'm not eating that, I just want you to know.
Titus,
I'm not eating raw meat.
it cooks as soon as you put the broth on it. Oh my god.
You not ready to eat the raw meat?
It's not gonna stay raw. Oh my god.
What?
High school. Well, that's
No, that's a so starch.
Yeah, that's what it starts.
Do I just grab the noodles with my hands?
Are your hands clean? Did everybody wash their hands?
I do.
No, I didn't.
What do I say?
Next to the king.
Oh yeah, and doesn't the meat cook while you put the soup on it?
Uh-huh.
How do we know how much noodles to get?
I think that's enough.
Oh.
You don't need a
Yeah, I
whole
think
lot
you
of
put too
noodles.
much there.
Yeah.
Wait, so what?
What kind of bag? What kind of bag? Oh, look at that. It instantly just brought, whoa.
Doesn't look like it's cooking to me.
It looks like it's cooking to me.
Yeah, I changed colors.
I can't even see.
Oh yeah, it is cooking already.
I can't wait to bite into this. We've been,
And we all waiting for each other.
yeah, the bone soup didn't.
No, do not.
This is about to be so good. You don't even know what y'all about to have. Cooking in the water. You don't eat it immediately. It's cooking right now. It's not called raw meat. First of all, thinly sliced filet mignon.
Filet mignon.
The camera's recording with feet. I didn't know.
Ain't it good?
I got a bite of basil.
I gotta buy the meat with the onion, the cilantro.
If you guys made it this far in the video, I hope you thoroughly enjoy this pho. I was so satisfied. I was so happy that I had the patience and I took the time to make it because I really wanted something just a little bit different from ramen. You know, the pho broth is so different from ramen to me. It's more savory, so it came out great. And also, you guys, this pho freezes beautifully. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, my mom had it after I froze it for about a month, and it was fantastic. God bless y'all, and thank you for watching.
Oh, but he drank it. Oh, he drank it.